believe that yes, even though operations went up worldwide, in Nigeria the figures went down. The recession must have played a major part. Yes, we are coming out of recession now, but we are not really out yet. We are just coming out of it now. So therefore, if things are going to improve, we look forward to this year 2018 and pray that things would be much better than they were in 2017. I'm very happy to announce that we had only a figure of 200 complaints on the international and domestic scenes. And that is a far cry from what we used to have. We used to have upwards of 2,000 complaints received. In some instances, when we first came into being, complaints were up to 5,000 in 1 year. This is due to the fact that as time goes on, as regulations come into place and the airlines get used to the regulations and start abiding by them, you find out that complaints would naturally come down. And then most of the complaints we had are really complaints which you can solve on the spot, such as a delayed flight, for instance. A passenger comes and complains, look, I have been waiting for an 11 o'clock flight out of Kaduna. I'm going to Lagos and the flight has still not come. You go and find out from the airline what it is that really is going on. They tell you that, okay, this delay is due to weather and there's virtually nothing we could do about it. In fact, we have rescheduled that flight so and so time. Okay, announce so that the passengers would know what their stand is. Air Peace is doing very, very well. As you can see, they have expanded their operations into almost all facets of our lives nowadays. And they go all over the place. And MedView has also been doing well, especially in international operations. You have seen they have recently started Dubai operations in addition to London Gatwick that they used to. And they are also doing the West Coast now. They are the major carriers on the domestic scene. But on the international scene, Emirates, as usual, have done very well. Ethiopian, you know that even during the closure of Abuja, they were operating out of Kaduna. And they have operations in virtually most of the international airports. They go to Kano, they go to Kaduna now, that nobody else goes to as an international airport. So they have a major share of the market.
It was an intense session between the airline operators of Nigeria and the federal government, following the resolve of the latter to commence full implementation of the Yamoussoukro Declaration by this weekend. There are 23 countries in Africa in 2015 that signed the Single African Air Transport Market, which was born out of the YD in 1988.
Spare parts fabrication or research and development in Lagos or in...
The African unions had set December 2017 for the implementation of the policy. The local airlines insisted that the policy was inimical to the Nigerian airline operators and therefore sternly kicked against its full implementation. A representative of the Minister of State for Aviation and the Managing Director of the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency declared that Nigeria, as one of the 23 states signatory to the treaty, could not be left behind in its implementation. The African Union Commission is set to launch the first AU Agenda 2063 flagship project, the Single African Air Transport Market in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, on 28 January 2018, as a historic event at the African Union Summit, nearly 2 decades after the adoption of the 1999 Yamoussoukro decision.
For our operators to take advantage and be able to be profitable, improve connectivity, competitiveness, and efficiency. And that's going to be for the benefit of all the African countries and the citizens of those countries. Infrastructure-wise, we are ready. As you can see, some of the African airlines have already taken advantage of what we have. But in addition, the provision of infrastructure is continuous. I'm sure you're aware that the federal government has approved the concession of some airports to increase capacities, efficiencies, and safety levels and security of those facilities. So yes, I would say we are ready and we will continue to improve on whatever we have to ensure that we take advantage, full advantage of the commitment and also the declaration.
The Minister of State for Aviation has been visiting the Port Harcourt International Airport in Rivers State to assess the level of work at a terminal that was once adjudged as the worst in Africa. This follows a marching order from the House of Representatives Committee on Aviation to the Minister of State for Aviation to complete the Port Harcourt Airport within the next 3 months.
We've been hearing this from them for a very long time, and enough is indeed enough, as they say. We would not tolerate this anymore. This project must be delivered. It will include, if as appropriate, determining this contract and continuing to finish it so people can bear it. And this is Port Harcourt. In the next 1 month, it will all be rainy, and people will now go back to the cycle of landing the tarmacs and being beaten by rain and so on, and sunshine. So this hardship for Port Harcourt is enough. And I think it's squarely on the neck of or head of the contractor and myself, because I am the supervising authority representing government, and I will take this not anymore.
Emirates has announced a deal for up to 36 Airbus A380 aircraft worth as much as $16 billion at list prices, saving the world's biggest passenger jet from death row and securing its future for at least another decade. The European plane maker says Emirates had placed a provisional order for 20 of the double-decker Super Jumbos, with an option for 16 more. Deliveries are due to start in 2020. The agreement hands a lifeline to the slow-selling aircraft in service for just 10 years and rescues one of Europe's most visible industrial symbols overseas. The deal ends months of tough-fought negotiations.
The Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission seeks a solution to the Murtala Mohammed Pt.2 and Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria's imbroglio. That's after the break. Do join us again.